Well, hello everybody and happy Tuesday. Just making sure the volume is up all the way here today. Wow, Array's got a new do. Cut it all off, trying to even it out after the experience last March of all of it falling out, having to cut it to get it even. Now it's all growing in, so I'm cutting it to get it even. Anyway, happy Tuesday. Big energies going on. I don't know if you guys can feel this. I have had some amazing session work with clients this week. Really big awareness is happening globally, planetarily, which also translates into micro, our version, our experience. And I am beyond excited to be kicking off the next Quantum Flight group next Tuesday. So if you have been feeling it or like, what is that, Quantum Flight? There's something triggering in my heart right now. I haven't even heard of it. Get a hold of me by email, araya@dragonwithin.com, because we kick off in a week and it is a powerhouse group. I'm really excited to see everybody that's been called into this one. Man, it's going to be some serious work and some serious expansion, and aligned with what's going on for the planet right now. There's going to be some big things happening. So that's what I'm excited about right now. We're a week away. I'm building the group tomorrow in a private Facebook group that we do for it. And whew, all kinds of energies going on. So I'm amped up. I hope you guys are. I hope you're feeling all the shifts going on energetically. This is going to be a big month. We had all the big stuff from the fall equinox last month. We're not quite moving towards the winter solstice, but I feel like these 3 months are going to really see some completion points, I guess is what the energy I'm feeling. And knowing that all since January of 2021, do you recall, going back, if you've been listening to me that long, we had an awareness of a conjunction planetarily. I believe it was Saturn and Jupiter. I can't really remember the conjunct. That's not my forte. But it was pushing us into what I talked about was 2 years and 3 months, 2.25 years of foundation building. And 2020 was the completion of the breakdown, the collapsing of the old system, the destruction energy, really setting that in motion. And so if we look back, I think I, for one, thought I would see more actual building, like new construction going up, of the new earth, like really seeing all the new energy starting to come into form. And what I've come to realize is actually when you build stuff, foundation building is like laying the concrete, getting the foundational the lines set out and getting the foundation laid and the guideposts bored into the earth or whatever, if you're building on concrete things. So really it's base level foundation building. And I'm able to look back now and see that as we approach the end of 2022. That's 2 years. So we're looking at, we've only got about 6 months left of that before we move into that next push of growth. So things are coming to a head here. Super exciting. And I had a great question from one of my gals who's going to be in the Quantum Flight program starting next week. And she's been in book club before, and she's very aware, and she has had some different experiences come in where she feels like there's a shift in like her dragon or who she is, and she was really curious about that. So it was a great question that I wanted to bring to everybody, because she wrote to me and she said, is it possible that you start out as one kind of dragon, that you realize you're one kind of dragon, and then it shifts and evolves? For example, can you be a fire dragon and evolve into a ruby dragon? So there's 3 different aspects I want to bring in here for you on that to look at and feel into for your journey, because yes and is usually the response from the dragons. So if we look first at our evolution as a soul, there's 2 points in that to look at. And one is, all right, the truth of your soul is maybe a high octave ruby, or even above that dragon, maybe even like rainbow, or let me think of my lineage up that I want to go into above gold. Say you're let's go with rainbow dragon, and you're from a very distant realm, and you're here on earth, and you start experiencing dragon energy, and you start waking up to, wow, I feel a real connection to the air dragons. Maybe I'm an air dragon. I'm an air dragon. I feel that. You get really connected to it. The meditations make sense. You're really deep in it. And what's happening is, all right, I'm evolving as a being. I'm coming into my remembrance. I'm coming into my memory. And then you move up and you're really, really connected with, say, the copper dragon. And then you move up that octave and you're really associated with maybe one of the sun dragons or the flame dragons. And in that, you keep evolving your awareness and you feel like, why am I so inconsistent with what I'm recognizing myself as? And basically, you're on a path of rediscovering remembrance, and you're evolving through those awarenesses to finally get to the truth of who you be as that rainbow dragon. So I just use that as an example. That may or may not be the lineage progression that you go through, but that's a possibility where you are not ready to see, to own, to remember everything from that higher octave and claim it. So your soul's progression has chosen to move through very definitively, very gently, each octave of remembrance as you come back to that wholeness. The other potential in that is you may have been birthed as a dragon in, maybe even in this realm or in another realm, as more of an elemental level, maybe a fourth or fifth dimensional level dragon. And the dragons go up beyond the 22nd octave. So in that, as you move into that acceleration of your own soul's knowing and start stepping into higher frameworks of potential, of vibration, you can evolve upwards vibrationally, which would then naturally take you from that more maybe elemental or lower third, fourth, fifth dimensional plane of reference, and that would actually evolve your framework. Would you still recognize, like at a core, like there's a fire dragon element within me? Absolutely. And it would keep growing and expanding. You wouldn't necessarily move too far beyond that. So if you're on the trajectory of you're coming from a higher octave, really high octave place, your remembrance is slow and gentle, the first one I described, there you're going to keep seeing these leaps and bounds in what you're considering evolution of remembrance, because it's already there. You've already achieved it. Whereas the evolutionary phase of starting and knowing, I began as a fire dragon. My soul began as a fire dragon. And I'm moving through into my mastery. I'm moving into higher levels of consciousness and awareness. And that evolution is going to be a lot slower. So you may not see as rapid, but if it's one shift, one octave level, that could be what's happening. Absolutely. So the other piece to look at is as we start our journey with the dragons and we come into remembrance, past life memories, other system memories, I've said oftentimes, and I keep seeing it in my own journey, the further forward I go, the higher vibration I access, the further back I can remember. And it's sort of like this looping of starting high, coming down, and as I come back up high, I can remember the other side of the arc. And so my memories have started going further and further back. As I'm coming into connection with those pieces and aspects of myself, some of those souls that have been around for a long time are going to have had many incarnational aspects. Some as dragon, especially if you are dragon, you're going to choose dragon most often format. Maybe as star being. I know I had a lot of memories in my early path of remembrance. For me, didn't start at the dragons, which was a high octave. So this is that sort of first path of I recognized and knew pieces of myself that had lived in the star systems, particularly Orion. And then the memories, as I kept going, came in of I was actually also there in dragon form, and I've seen myself in dragon form in other planetary systems. So there I have actual memory where my body form looks different. I've chosen a different body. Typically the color format is in the same sort of hues, but it doesn't have to be. So being predominantly through a water dragon lineage, the colors that I incarnate in are often shades of blues, greens, and purples. Some silver in there. So in that, I've had memory and seen myself in those. So if you're seeing other dragon formats that you really recognize as yourself and really like, I remember being that, I know that, And especially if there's smaller body types, then maybe this, I feel like my full dragon Tana is massive. She's huge. And when I see these other memories, they're definitely more like a concrete body or a smaller type that are on another planet. So when you recognize those, that's a soul evolution where you're actually just out having incarnational aspects. That doesn't mean they're not part of you. They are part of you, but they're not your core aspect self. So recognizing those dragon memories that you may have had as part of your experiences on a soul level they're going to have characteristics of your core true lineage, but they also may be very different because you're choosing different things for different experiences. So I may predominantly choose those blue, green, purple, more of a water dragon format coming out, but that doesn't mean I can't choose to be an air dragon or a fire dragon or an earth dragon to have that experience and come into a body like that as I choose to. We choose to do lots of different things on a soul level for learning. It's all about learning. And we're always learning about love. We're always learning about light. We're always learning about how to carry information. And in that expansion, what those different beings can do. What are their capabilities? What kind of magic do they carry? Maybe we want to learn and play with that. So the possibilities are almost endless, because with the number of souls that are present in the universe, we look at the earth and we think, well, 8 billion is a lot, if that's accurate. That's a drop in the bucket, because that's living informed beings. There's all the beings that are no longer in human body form but haven't passed on from the earth plane over all of the epochs of time that the earth has been here. There's also all of those that are all in all the other systems. So it's a staggering figure or number to contemplate. And if each soul has its own evolutionary process and journey, the possibilities and the potentials are endless. So don't discount something that comes in or think, well, I'm crazy, like it's all disjointed, I can't keep it connected. Wait until the symmetry and the alignment shows itself to you in how those connect. There's always a connection point. And when you have those memories, they're showing you for a reason, or those deep experiences where you're finding yourself and feeling really strongly connected to something. I will share with you that besides the Orion piece, I know that I have relevance or experience in the cosmic angelic realms. Not necessarily the earth plane angelic realms, but the cosmic angelic realms. I have memory from that, and I have a set of wings that I experience from that. And that's part of my energy field, but it's not my core essence. That's been experiences that I've gone out into different formats to have interaction and experience with. So you can have been in the fairy realms, you can have been in the rainbow realms as a incarnational aspect, maybe not birthed there, but visiting or having experiences there. Think of all the magical creatures that are in the rainbow realms. Any of the legendary things that people bring through in fiction here on Earth, it's because it's implanted somewhere within them. It's not just coming out of nowhere. It's memory banks. And so all of those you can identify with, but there will be a core one that is the deepest, strongest set of connection point for you that unfolds as the most relevant and holding that pattern within you. So it was a great question, because I know that a lot of people turn and have different levels of connection with different lineages of dragon, and there's a lot of reasons why. So in unpacking all this in these 3 different potentials of an answer to this particular question is going to beg a whole bunch more questions or a whole bunch more possibilities. And what I want to encourage you to do is leave open that everything is possible. And you will see, especially if you hold the intention to have the clarity, the connection points, and keep going with it. And if you really, you're stymied, or you're really trying to get assistance, reach out and do a short reading with me. I've got 20-minute readings. I've got full 75-minute readings. The 20-minute discovery calls aren't really a reading, but they can give you some clarity just because of the dialogue or the conversation that starts to happen when I'm with people. It just things come out. Awareness has come out, and they might be a singular point. But, the tagline on my Invoke Healing website has been for years that a moment of clarity can change everything. And it really does. Letting that moment come in that literally allows a 180-degree pivot so that you're now on your path direction this way, and that will lead you to the next pivot point. So trust in your guides, trust in your inner knowing, and letting everything come in that's there without rejecting any of it, and let it assimilate, let it integrate, and show you the connection points. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that for this week. I thought it was a great topic of interest for many of you out there, so I thank this beautiful dragon heart for her question, and I'm excited to start, as I said, work with her in the larger group next week. If you're feeling any kind of an inkling when I talk about the Quantum Flight program, please reach out, and have a great week. We've got here in the Northwest, well, I'm in the West, I'm in Reno, Nevada, and we've got these beautiful, glorious, what we call Indian summer days going on, where it's in the 80s during the day, just beautiful. There's not a cloud in the sky all week. I think it's going to be this way. And cool, cool nights. So we're dropping in the 40s. It's gently preparing us. I actually have a light sweatshirt on. I've got my Avatar shirt on that I got in Disney World. I love this shirt. That was a big connection point for me, flying on the back of the dragon in the Avatar ride in Pandora Land down in Disney World. If you've not been there and you're planning to go to Disney World in the Animal Kingdom, make sure you do it. It is an incredible ride. Just, wow, woke up so many things within me to have that experience where you literally feel like you're flying on the back of this dragon. And know that would trigger, even just talking about it, I feel like that's triggering memory for some of you. Anyway, have a beautiful week. If you need some assistance or have questions, please reach out. And especially if you felt any inkling with the Quantum Flight program, the group is a rock solid group sphere, powerhouse energy, and there's going to be some big things happen with it over the next 8 weeks. So excited to get that rolling. All right, everybody, we'll see you next week. Have a great one. Bye for now.